Erev Tov Rabotai, we are continuing with our Mishna Yomi, Masechet Shekalim. We are up to Perek Gimel Mishnah Aleph. Today's Mishnayot should be Leilun Nishmat, Neria ben Svetlana, Aranbai, and Eliyahu ben Burcha Israelov, Menuchatam Began Eden, Amen. After the Shekalim were collected and brought to Yerushalayim, they were placed in a special chamber in the temple. 3 times a year, a portion of the money was withdrawn from the chamber to buy communal offerings. This withdrawal is known as a tirumah, literally raising. Since a portion of the coins were raised, they were removed from the larger amount that was there. The Mishnah enumerates these 3 times. Bishlosha prakim b'shana tormin et alishka. 3 times during the year, they withdraw a portion of the shekalim from the chamber in the temple where the money is kept. Now, they did not withdraw all the funds needed for the year at one time, because the shekalim of those living far away from Yerushalayim had not yet arrived. Now, although the tirumah that was removed was taken on behalf of everyone's shekel, even those that had not yet arrived in Yerushalayim, so that every Jew had a share in the offerings purchased with the shekalim withdrawn on the first date, the rabbis nevertheless instituted withdrawing shekalim at 3 different times during the year. This was done to ensure that everyone's shekel would have a chance of being among those from which the offerings were actually purchased. Bifros HaPesach, 15 days before Pesach. Now the word Peros actually means half. 30 days before a festival, the rabbis instituted that one should begin studying the laws of the upcoming festival. 15 days before a festival, the midpoint of those 30 days of preparation for the festival was known as the Peros, halfway mark of the coming festival. So, Bifros HaPesach, 15 days before Pesach, Bifros Atzeret, 15 days before Shavuot, Bifros Echag, and 15 days before Sukkot. Now, 15 days before Pesach, which is on the 15th of Nisan, is the last day of Adar. 15 days before Shavuot is on the 35th day of the Omer. 15 days before Sukkot is the last day of Elul. Now, these 3 dates apply to the law of Maaser Behemah, the animal Maaser, as well, according to one Tana. The Mishnah therefore digresses to cite the dispute as to the times of the animal tithe, the Maaser Behemah. The Torah in Sefer Vayikra, chapter 27, pasuk 32, commands us to separate Maaser, a tenth of the cattle, sheep, and goats born into our herds and flocks each year. The rabbis fixed 3 set times during the year to separate the animal Maaser from the animals born between these times, and the Mishnah cites a 3-way machloket, a 3-way dispute as to what these 3 times are. The first opinion is as follows: Ven geranot leMaaser Behemah, and these dates that we mentioned, 15 days before Pesach, 15 days before Shavuot, and 15 days before Sukkot, are also the golden times for the animal Maaser, meaning the times when newborn animals become forbidden until they are tithed. On these dates, any animals born since the previous golden become forbidden and must be tithed. Divrei Rabbi Akiva. These are the words of Rabbi Akiva. Now, although the Torah gives us a mitzvah to separate animal Maaser from the newborns of our herds and flocks, there is no biblical prohibition to slaughter and eat such animals before Maaser has been separated. However, the rabbis fixed 3 times during the year when all newborns not previously tithed become rabbinically forbidden to be slaughtered and eaten until they are tithed. Now, the term goren, literally threshing floor, is borrowed from the Maaser of grain, where the grain becomes forbidden to be eaten before being tithed after it's threshed and heaped into a pile. Now, the reason the rabbis chose these dates is that a large number of animals were required in Yerushalayim during the festivals for all the Jews who came from far and near to bring offerings in the temple, as commanded in the Torah in Sefer Shemot, chapter 23, pasuk 17. People who raised cattle, sheep, and goats would generally not sell or slaughter their newborn animals until after they tithed them, since they wanted to fulfill the mitzvah of separating Maaser. The rabbis therefore fixed the times for separating the animal Maaser shortly before each festival, so that there would be an ample supply of animals available for purchase in time for the festivals. This is the opinion of Rabbi Akiva. Ben Azai says a second opinion, that the 3 times for animal Maaser are Be'esrim v'tisha be'adar, on the 29th of the month of Adar, 15 days before Pesach. Now, Ben Azai agrees with Rabbi Akiva. The first date for separating animal Maaser is 15 days before Pesach. However, he holds that Adar, the month before Nisan, always contains just 29 days. So that 15 days before Pesach will always fall on the 29th of Adar. Rabbi Akiva, however, holds that Adar can sometimes have 30 days, depending on when the witnesses who saw the new moon come to court. Therefore, 15 days before Pesach sometimes fall on the 29th of Adar, sometimes on the 30th. So Rabbi Akiva simply stated 15 days before Pesach. They really agree that it's 15 days before Pesach. Ube'echad b'Sivan, and on the first of the month of Sivan, 5 days before Shavuot. And Ben Azai says, now since only a small number of animals are usually born between the end of Adar and Shavuot, Ben Azai is concerned that if Maaser were separated 15 days before Shavuot, many animals would already be sold or eaten by the time Shavuot arrives. This would result in a shortage of animals for the festival. Therefore, Ben Azai sets the date for separating the animal Maaser closer to Shavuot. Ube-20 v'tisha b'av, and on the 29th of the month of Av, a month before Rabbi Akiva's date. Now, animals born in 2 different years cannot be counted together for the purpose of Maaser, as we will B'ezrat Hashem B'li Neder see in Masechet Bechot, chapter 9, Mishnah 1. Ben Azai is uncertain whether the new year for animal Maaser starts on the 1st of Elul or the 1st of Tishrei. He therefore fixes the 3rd date for separating animal Maaser on the last day of Av, so that the animals born the next month Elul will not be counted together with the animals born before Elul. Animals born in Elul have to be tithed by themselves according to Ben Azai's opinion. Rabbi Elazar and Rabbi Shimon Omrim, Rabbi Elazar and Rabbi Shimon say that the 3 times are Bechad Benisan on the 1st of the month of Nisan, 14 days before Pesach. Now Rabbi Elazar and Rabbi Shimon hold that the laws of the festivals are studied for just 2 weeks before the festival and not 30 days as Rabbi Akiva holds. Since separating animal Maaser is a form of preparing for the festival, because it makes more animals available for use on the festival, they fixed a date for separating animal Maaser at the 1st of Nisan, 2 weeks before Pesach. Bechad B'Sivan, on the 1st of the month of Sivan, as Ben Azai said, Be-20 v'tisha b'Elul, and on the 29th of the month of Elul, 15 days before Sukkot. Elul was almost always just 29 days, as the Gemara says in Masechet Betzah, page 6a. Now, Rabbi Elazar and Rabbi Shimon will explain why in regard to the 3rd date, they gave a date that's 15 days before the festival and not 14. Why did the sages say on the 29th of Elul, which is 15 days before Sukkot, and they did not say on the 1st of Tishrei, which is 14 days before Sukkot, as they said in regard to the 1st of Nisan, which is 14 days before Pesach? The Mishnah says, Yom Tov, because the 1st of Tishrei is a festival, Rosh Hashanah, and it's impossible to tithe animals on a festival. Now, the procedure of separating animal Maaser is as follows. All the newborns are gathered into a pen that has an opening large enough for only one animal to pass through. The owner counts the animals as they exit and marks every 10th animal with red dye, declaring this one is Maaser. Marking an animal with dye is forbidden on Yom Tov under the Menacha of Tzoveh, dying. Therefore, they advanced the date of the animal Maaser to the 29th of Elul, the day before Rosh Hashanah. And that is the end of Mishnah Aleph. Mishnah Bet now describes the procedure for the withdrawal of the Shekalim. B'shalosh kupot shel shalosh si'in. With 3 baskets of 3 seah each. A seah is a measure of volume ranging in modern equivalents from 2.2 to 3.8 gallons, or 8.3 to 14.4 liters. Tormin et alishkat. They withdraw the tirumah of shekalim from the temple chamber in which the money is kept, meaning they first fill 1 basket with coins, and then a second, and then a third, until they have a total of 9 seah of coins. This was not done in one large 9 seah basket, rather with 3 smaller 3 seah baskets, and the reason they use specifically 3 baskets is based on a verse cited by the Gemara. V'katuv ben Aleph bet Gimel, and upon them were written the Hebrew letters Aleph bet Gimel, 1 letter on each basket, so that the money can be kept in the order in which it was withdrawn. First, the shekalim and the Aleph basket were used to buy communal offerings, and the shekalim from the bet basket, and finally the shekalim from the Gimel basket. This was because priority is always given to that which becomes available for a mitzvah first. Rabbi Ishmael says, Yivanit katuv ben alpha beta gamla. Not Hebrew letters, rather the Greek letters alpha, beta, gamma were written on them. The reason the Greek alphabet was used in the temple was to fulfill Noach's blessing to his son Yefet in Sefer Bereshit chapter 9, Pasuk 27, let God beautify Yefet and he shall dwell in the tents of Shem. The rabbis interpreted the verse this way. Let the Greek language, which is the most beautiful of all the languages of the children of Yefet, dwell in the temple, the tent of Shem. Now, certain restrictions were placed upon the person who withdraws the shkalim, so that he not be suspected of taking coins for himself. The one who withdraws the tirumah of the shkalim may not enter the chamber where the shkalim are kept with a hemmed garment, or with a shoe, or with a sandal, so that he not be suspected of hiding coins in the hem of the garment, or of dropping coins into his shoe or sandal, or with tefillin or an amulet. Now an amulet is an inscribed piece of parchment or a packet of herbs worn to protect the wearer from illness or other danger. The amulet is placed in a leather pouch and worn around the neck. If the person who withdraws the shkalim would enter wearing tefillin or an amulet, he might be suspected of opening them and hiding money inside. Shema ya'ani v'yomru me'avon alishka ya'ani. For he might someday become poor, and people will say about him, he has become poor because of the sin of stealing from the chamber. Or he might someday become rich, and people will say about him, he has become rich from stealing from the tirumah of the chamber. Now, the Mishnah explains why it is so important that the person who withdraws a shkalim must be so careful not to cause others to suspect him. A person must satisfy the scrutiny of people in the same way that he must satisfy the scrutiny of God. It says in the Torah in Sefer Bamidbar, chapter 32, pasuk 22, V'item nikim me'Adonai u'me'Yisrael. You shall be innocent in the eyes of Hashem and of Israel. The Omer, and it says in Proverbs chapter 3, pasuk 4, you should find favor and good understanding in the eyes of God and man. These psukim teach that even after attaining perfection before God, one must still find favor in the eyes of his fellow man. Therefore, the rules mentioned above were not instituted for fear that the person performing the withdrawal would actually steal the money, but so that people should not think he stole. And that is in Rabotai today's Mishna Yomi. Baruch Adonai Leolam. Amen v'amen.